everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to depot an Urban Decay Book of Shadows, and these things come in these really thick, hideous packages, and they essentially just come with a pull-out jar, a bunch of crap in it, mine's which is falling on the ground, and 16 shadows. Now this is really bulky, it's not friendly for travel, and honestly it's not useful at all. Like, I don't need this whole thing. Like, I get that it's cute that this opens up and there's like stuff there, but really I've never ever once in the existence of owning this palette used this mirror, anything like that. And also I find that like a huge package like that just sits in a drawer and I never use it, whereas if I depot it and put it somewhere where it's more accessible, I'll use it more frequently. Just going to show you how you can depot a Book of Shadows and put them in a Freedom palette. This is the one that I made, and I actually, pardon me, have a video on it. These right here are my 16 shadows that came in my Urban Decay Loves New York palette, and as you can see, there's a bunch of more space for more colors. These can all be put along the top, and then there'll be enough space here for the other Urban Decay shadows. So having this one palette with a bunch of colors is a lot more efficient than something like this, which is huge. So yeah, if you want to know how to make something like this, I have a video, I'll link it below and on the screen somewhere, and just, you know, I just think this is better. So there's a lot of different ways to depot these palettes. I'm just going to show you the way that I prefer. It does involve the most effort, I think, out of all the ways that I've seen how to do this. However, it does result in the least amount of shadows breaking. I didn't have any of my shadows break while I was depotting them. I did, however, leave my stuff on the table after it was in, you know, they were depotted sitting on my table, and a cat jumped up and scratched them or landed in them with her paws. So there's like awkward paw prints that I have to sanitize. But anyways, point is, none of them broke while depotting it, and I know a lot of people say like that's the one big thing that a lot of them break, and that's no bueno. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll talk to you soon. So the first thing you need is a cutting mat, just to be extra careful, because I'm doing this on a glass surface and I don't want to break anything. You also need an X-Acto knife, which is just like, you know, a sharp edged tool, or a box cutter works fine. Then you also need some labels. Mine are square, but you can use whatever shape you want. And then of course the palette that you're depotting. I took the sorry, this is really bright. I took the cover off mine, so I can just toss that. Now I have this big hunk of palette left over that I'm going to work with. Make sure that your palette's essentially empty. I don't even know what this is. I've never used it before. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to cut away at all this extra. That's a cool pattern. Never noticed. I'm going to cut away here because there's a seam. And then you can open it down. So as you can see, when you open it, these layers are where all the extras were, which is that. It's just layers of cardboard making it, you know, heavy duty. And then here there's another piece of paper essentially, and then there's more layers of this cardboard where you know, it's holding all the shadows in. Okay, so I'm now going to just cut along the bottom here and start to peel it off. And like I said, this is going to be a lot of peeling because I do think that that is partially what keeps the shadows from breaking. Okay, so now that it is essentially open, you just take your X-Acto and cut it, and it will lift off. Okay, so if you want to keep like knowing which are which for the names, you probably want to keep this top layer intact, just so that you know exactly what colors are where, or you can just keep the colors in order and look up the names afterwards. Okay, so now that the letters are off, we'll just put that to the side, but keep it because you want to be able to keep them in the right order, obviously. Turn that over, and as you'll be able to see, the back is like falling apart, and this should just start to lift off. that's where all of the like pockets for all the accessories they give you with these palettes are stored, and you can just take those off. These should just be the little white squares that aren't really, you know, super heavy duty cardboard or anything. You should just be able to bend it. Sit at the top, well, on mine it does anyways. This piece here, this like backing piece, is the part that holds the shadows, so you can actually just lift off the squares. And doing it this way might be a bit harder, but it pretty much assures you that none of them break, which is really important because I don't want to be breaking my shadows. So as you can see, some of them will just come off. So you want to kind of, I guess, keep them, like what I do is I'll take it off and I'll put it in the little squares so that I know which color it is. And I'll just keep doing that the whole way across them all. And also what you'll notice is the arrow tells you which way is up, so you can match the colors perfectly fine. You won't get confused. So you just wrote them down or something, that works too. And then from here I just take my X-Acto and kind of stick it in the bottom. Now I know essentially what a lot of people do is they skip the part where you peel off all the board. They just get something sharp, stick it in, pull it up, but that can actually break the shadow. But when you do it this way, it stays on it stays on a flat surface the whole time, so it doesn't really have a chance to crack. And you can just lift it out, which I would prefer, you know, taking an extra 10 minutes over having broken eyeshadow or cracked eyeshadows. And also, one thing that you'll notice is the glue kind of mostly stays on the packaging. It doesn't really go here. And the pieces that do, oh, my hand's all shaky. Okay, let's hold it in this one. You can just peel them off and they just come off and it's flat. Also with these palettes or pans, once you depot them, they're already magnetic, so you don't have to worry about putting magnets or anything because they'll already stick. Labels, and just take a pack of them, and I just write. I usually use one label and I put 2 names on it because they're too big to go on the thing, so I just cut them in half because what's the point of wasting it. So I'll just write the name of the color, you know, peel it off. This is pretty standard. Cut it in half. And stick it on the back. So they just go in there and they stick and they stay there. They don't really go anywhere unless you move them yourself. Alrighty, so what that did was it turned this huge bulky palette, well, first of all, into a bunch of shreddings, but essentially it made me put the entire palette just here in this section. I have the Urban Decay Love New York palette here. I have the Urban Decay Book of Shadows volume, I don't know. What volume is this? 6? 4? I don't have a clue. But whatever that volume is right here, and then a bunch of shadows up here, and you can see these are the ones that are magnetized. And then I could put a bunch here still. So this is a lot more compact and a lot more travel friendly. I'd rather take this with a whole bunch of colors over something like this that's big and bulky. So if you know you want an alternative, this is a good way to go. You can buy these Freedom palettes by a ton of brands. Also, you can learn how to make this one. I made it for a few dollars, and I'll link the video below. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.